just tuned in to NNUTS podcast. Yeah, that's right, NNUTS. Nothing new under the sun. So make sure you tune in, because this is where it's at. You don't want to miss it. You hear me? Let's go.
Hey, check out my bro on NNUTS. Nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna kick it to that next question that I had. How do you honor your heroes?
Man, my heroes, first of all, how do I honor my heroes? I start thinking about who my heroes was, and it kind of sent me into like a whirlwind kind of, with it just started going all over the place. I'm like, who did I look up? Who do I look up to? Who did I look up to? Not saying I'm not up there. I mean, I look up to a lot of people, right? But I'm gonna tell you where I went. My thought went,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of dealing with what we just talked about, reparations, but land. So I start thinking about, in this climate, we think, just trying to compare myself to the generations, not my parents' generation, but their parents, our grandparents, right, and even our great grandparents. And you just look at the period of time, and they got so much stuff done, without the technology, sometimes without the education. I mean, definitely a different style of education, right?
Sometimes they created the technology. Like, that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people, and because I'm in that sphere of technology, I'll be like, yo, technology has changed from like my people was working out in the field. They was like, yo, I can work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? And made little jigs and stuff to work in the field. And maybe them inventions was taken by somebody else and, made that money off of. But like, I know my people are even now, very resourceful as far as working smarter versus working harder.
Definitely. But I kind of got stuck in that mode. I'm like, hold on, they got tons of stuff done. I'm like, I know we doing things now, I'm like, the climate, we think the climate is crazy over these past few months. What they was dealing with our great grandparents and our grandparents, and of course, if you go further back, they was dealing with, they were still considered less than a human. They're still a person, right?
Definitely less than a citizen, a second class citizen.
I'm about what 2/3 of a person?
3/5.
What 3/5, man, of a. So you start thinking, I'm like, hold on. My parents' first house, not this, from what I think like the house I grew up in, that was kind of passed on from like a sister, it was family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I start thinking, man, my grandma how did my grandma even get this? She's a single woman. She ain't had no husband. She had eight kids. She had a husband, but he passed, and she raised 8 kids on her own. But how did she get that acre of land? I'm like, hold on, how she get this acre of land in the South at that, in the nice part of the town, making minimum wage, all this stuff, like, hold on, accumulating. I'm like, I'm over here struggling to get a house for my family.
That's what I'm talking about. She learned that gift. So one of the reasons why I'm in real estate is because of my grandma, right? My grandma had 7 houses when she passed away. Now, she's been married a few times or whatnot, but like, I was like, I got an opportunity to have a relationship with my granny and kind of get to talking to her about business and like how she focused, how somebody with she didn't tell me what school, if she graduated or whatnot, but I know she worked her magic wherever she did, and she was like, she had goals, and like she used to write them down and have them on the wall and stuff, and I used to be like, who told you that? Who told you? Like, in these days at time, like, sometimes I feel like these people, they so beat down that they don't even know that they have authority. Like, I have to ask people all the time, who gave you the authority to do that? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so I used to wonder with my grandma, I was like, who gave you the authority to say you can own this, you can do
Right.
this, because even now I feel like people don't feel like they can own this, they can do this. Like,
I, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why, and so that's where my mind stayed, man. I mean, I when what you just said, and just putting all that together, it's like they're my heroes, like for real. Like, I mean, I didn't really know my grandma passed away when I was like too young to remember, but then I have my other grandma, my pop's mom. She just got rest of her soul. She passed away last year, or the year before.
oh, so you got some time with your.
But yeah, she's my step grandma though. But she's the only
Oh,
grandma who I ever knew,
mhm.
right? But she left again, like you was talking about. Your grandma had seven properties. She left same kind of thing. She left properties in one part of town, a house in this part of town, some acres out there in the country. All this to the family. I'm like, how? I'm like, how did she I mean, how did she know that she had a right to do this stuff? But I'm impressed. I mean, the more that I look at what they did in them years, like them, I'm just impressed. I mean, I ain't trying to sound corny or nothing, but man, it's like the marching and stuff was cool. Standing up for your rights and all that stuff was, God knows, that was needed.
Necessary,
But
yeah.
yeah, but what they actually accrued, what they actually got, what they built, technology, like you said, the technology that they, came up with, the the wealth that they came up with, it blows my
By
mind, man.
rubbing two pennies together. Now that scale is a lot out of whack because like now the money that we're talking about is so crazy. They was buying stuff back in the day. Now
Right.
now it's more like you leasing to own. Like because the way that they
Yeah.
do these numbers is like you'll never pay it off. Like you
Yeah.
get into a
Exactly.
30-year mortgage and you 45 years old. What the
Right.
world?
Right. What happened? Yeah, it was the ball dropped somewhere between. We was bamboozled in between that. Yeah, I mean, obviously,
We the scale. What they said is money is worth less, and we gonna make it. We gonna keep the property because at the end of the day, you have so many people that do lose property when
yeah.
people pass on. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
It
Oh
be
yeah,
that
yeah.
or whatnot. But yeah,
That's
when
been, that's been a huge way for basically for us, the black community, to lose our wealth
yeah,
is after the generation has died and somebody, whether it's a power of attorney, the government, a local municipality, the taxes, or somebody, or just a real estate investor to come along. They know it. This stuff is not a street secret, man. This stuff they know what to do when somebody dies. They go check out the real estate. Where's the
hey,
real estate? Who
all
owns
right. But see, those are opportunities that our people should take advantage of too.
now? Right. But at the
Yeah.
same, but I'm saying we lost a chunk. We lost a
Oh,
huge chunk.
yeah.
Over
Like even my grandma 7 houses, and she put her kids in 6 of them. Right. Don't nobody own the
yeah.
house no more. You know what I'm saying? Like you remortgaged it and then end up losing it or whatnot. So like or taxes or
Right.
like or yeah. So like
Yeah.
you get to thinking, you're like, man, what? But that's what motivates me to. I
Oh yeah.
don't know. I got rid of the question. So how are you honoring now that I know that your grandparents and that generation is your heroes?
Yeah.
Was your heroes? How are you
Yeah.
honoring them?
How do I honor them? So again, telling that story, man. Telling that story is how I and remind people what they accomplished. Is basically like how I've been, honoring them. Definitely trying to live up, as they set the example. So it's like, no, we in a different time, so we got to do above and beyond what they did. And again, I think that's a way of honoring them. Um,
That's
you
what's
know,
up.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel the same way. I honor my grandma about getting out here trying to get it the same way she did. And like you
right,
said, like the game didn't change, but they got ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? So like it's those messages, and that's the reason why I started my podcast. So hopefully one day my grandkids will hear this, they hear that, and they hear that the greatness that they come from.
Exactly.
spread it out, let people know. My grandma, she did that. She came from nothing. Had setbacks to where she didn't have anything and everything. Went through a few divorces, but then she came back and greater. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
that's how I honor him. And then like
Yeah.
Bill Cosby is one of my heroes, and I know people be like, "How can he be one of your heroes?"
Oh
Right?
no.
But
Uh-oh.
man,
Where
but
we going with this, big?
but man, Bill Cosby taught me to think big too, right? And he
I,
thought, and he was a father figure, even though it was a fairy tale father figure, but like he was a dad that I thought I would like to have. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of modeled after him
yeah.
my style,
Yeah.
based on what I knew of that character. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because what you don't know, you don't know. Like I was talking to you before we started the podcast. Like I used to think people that had money was the people that got a new car every couple
Right.
years or whatnot. And then you grow up to get money. You see, dang, you make $100,000, but this dude make $300,000 doing, and he ain't half as bright as you. And not to belittle somebody, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like you just get to thinking like, dang, dog, like my scale is all wacky. I'm doing better than most of the people I grew up with, but then I'm at this other level. You like, shoot,
Yeah. Yeah. But again, I mean, a lot of that is just how we was, how it was presented to us. It was, I do like the Dr. Huxtable, example. I mean, you can't deny it. You can't deny what he did to the little black boys in the '80s and early '90s is you can't put I mean, who else did that?
yeah,
We wasn't
yeah.
looking at nobody else.
I
That's
mean, and trying to buy NBC, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to buy NBC. That's a network that only Comcast had to buy. You know what I'm saying? And then if you look at even with Fat Albert, he was trying to tell stories of people, stand up kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and putting the black college on TV, I ain't know what again, I was young at the time, but that a different world came on. I ain't know, that was a different look for me. That was the first, obviously the first time I ever seen like a all black college, and and I didn't even know what college was really, but it looked cool. It